today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Shop Talk. It's Kari,
And Jennifer.
and this week we were feeling nostalgic, so we will be discussing Danielle Campbell's DCOM Starstruck. We've got just a little bit of news, and then we'll jump right into our movie review.
Yeah, so we had some news drop today. There was a casting announcement from Deadline. And Derek Augustine and Patrick Keeler have joined the rookie cast as recurring guest stars in season 7. So Derek will play Miles, who is from Texas, and he's a rookie despite being a 2-year veteran on the force. And Patrick will play Seth, another rookie who seems like the ideal police officer, but the job requires quick, decisive action, something that doesn't come naturally to him. When I first read that, I kind of thought, okay, so another like Jackson. Like I wonder like if he'll freeze when it comes to like shooting his gun. Like, I don't know, very interesting. Very interesting.
Mhm.
It looks like Derek, like Miles is very like Texan. Like he shared some behind the scenes and like he had like a cowboy hat on and like Southern accent. So that'll be really interesting to see like how the team deals with that. Something that's really cool is that this is Patrick's first TV role. He's done Broadway before, so it's like his TV debut, which is really cool. Um, and then Derek's been in all kinds of stuff, All American, The Vampire Diaries, Criminal Minds, just he's got a long sheet, which is really cool too. So I'm excited to see them. We kind of already knew we were getting new rookies anyway, because they were behind the scenes, but we just didn't know who. So
Yeah.
I'll
Mhm.
be interested to like see. I'm excited to see the different pairings. Like I hope similar to how we had like Selena and Lucy, one time or two, and like Selena and Tim. Like I hope that we kind of get to see Miles and Seth, like with a couple of different TOs. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And then Makia was at the Essence Festival of Culture this past weekend, and she was there on a panel with other ladies of ABC shows, and they were talking about representation and their personal stories. Makia had shared a snippet of her talk about motherhood and acting on Instagram, and it was very cool because she talked about how, not only balancing it, but just being a mother and then being surrounded by
Mhm.
predominantly, since it's a male-dominated industry,
Yeah.
you know, having that contrast with her role as a mother. So it was very cool. And like I said, she posted it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think she shared it to her stories as well. So if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to go over to her Instagram and give it a listen.
Yeah.
But yeah, and she wore a really pretty like neon
Yeah.
perfect summer color dress,
Yeah. Oh
and
my gosh.
everything. So,
She glows. Like in
mhm.
anything that she wears, she radiates, she glows, like her smile. I just love it. Um,
Yeah.
I wish and I hope that there are more snippets from that panel just so that we can at some point watch them because like for me, I watched 911 and like Makia and Aisha Hines being there were like it was as close as I'm gonna get to a rookie 911 crossover. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then Richard was on, he said Diho this week for an episode called Lunch with the Rookies. Eric said that it will hopefully happen more, which I need every single one of them to be on that. Like, yeah, I need it. And it was really cool. They just like filmed it in the trailer or whatever. And Richard isn't a fan of TikTok. He doesn't get it. He was like, I don't get the tick and the talk of it all. Um, but he just joined TikTok. Like he was like, I don't even know my username. Like I just joined. And so when he, like when he says, I don't get it, I don't understand it, that his content's gonna be good because we had Mr. Eric Winter say that too. And look at he's like the TikTok king. So um
Hmm.
they talked a little bit about like on set. and Eric and Richard are the big jokesters on set, and then Eric and Nathan are pranksters. So, and like Eric, I guess, had told Nathan not to give Richard that bike right away that like all of them got. And he was like, give it to everyone else, but don't give it to Richard because he'll want two of them, apparently. And so, like, everyone's riding, but I can just see this happening. Everyone's riding their bikes to the set, and Richard is in the transport van, like, all alone. And Richard got to set, and the bike was apparently there, like, by his
Oh
chair.
my God.
But
That's funny.
I was listening to that as I'm working, and I'm like, why can I like see that happening? Like everyone's just like zooming by on their cool bikes, and Richard's like, I'm in the transport van, like
Hmm.
alone, and everyone else is cool bikes. So, um, and then Eric also asked Richard about his experience playing Gray versus other characters. And Richard was like, I believe in Alexi. He captured the voice in Gray, but also captured a lot of Richard's sensibilities. And he said the most exciting part of the job is is the cast and the crew, like everyone involved. Richard doesn't think the train's going to stop unless they get tired. He was like, I mean, Eric might, but like, and I was just like, please never stop the show. Like, I need it.
Yeah.
Um, and then they also talked about like who's the first to break when they're like rehearsing and acting and everything. And Eric talked about last season with the explosion scene, like Tim and Aaron go to the hospital. And he was like, Richard and I were like looking into each other's souls to see who would break first while doing the take. And apparently they were also like kicking a piece of bread from Lucy's apartment around a hospital room with their toes. And they were like, it was a very dramatic scene, like someone was dying and everything. But I'm like, when were they like in a hospital room together? And the only thing I could think of was the episode where Ashley breaks up with them.
Oh.
And so I'm like, was it that
Well,
one?
no, well, because Gray was in the hospital room with Lucy and Tim when she
Oh,
shot the one dude.
yeah,
I mean, it was like very, very brief because like Wesley was there too for a split second. They
yeah.
left. I don't know if that was it because I have not finished listening to the whole episode, so I don't know which.
They don't really say like what scene it is. That was like the only one that I could think of was when Ashley broke up with him. And that was like an awkward scene, but I don't know. I could kind of see it, but and then Richard said at some point he wants to move into directing, like really take some projects that have been close to his heart, like to the small screen and big screens. And he was like, I want to run a studio at some point. Like I want to help, help those young actors kind of find their passion. So, and I loved this question. They were talking about downtime on set, and Richard's always grabbing watermelon at Crafty, which I don't know. I love that for some reason. Eric likes trail mix and same with Makia. So like, they always have a bunch of trail mix. And then when asked who was the messiest trailer, Eric like, had said Alyssa and Richard was like, no, Melissa. And they were kind of like going back and forth with that. So yeah. And Richard would like to see like he would like to be more in the background watching everyone work. And Eric's like, no, Gray should be working more. Like, and Richard said he wants to see Eric running around more and being like an action star and to be able to yell at him. And I'm like, we already have all that now. Like, please just keep giving it to us. Actually, I
Yeah.
would kind of like to see Gray out in the field a little bit more. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I just love it. So, yeah, but it was a fun interview.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of rookie news. It was like the cast was like out doing stuff, and then the casting news. So, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
But with that, we'll just jump right into the movie review because, yeah, it was a cute movie.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, we had our brief overview, as always. Quick synopsis, if you aren't familiar with it, is Jessica Olsen was expecting a normal trip to California with her family to visit her grandma. However, she agrees to join her older sister to find the famous pop star Christopher Wilde. So it's a romance slash comedy slash musical movie. It was apparently released on Valentine's Day in 2010 as a Disney Channel original movie. And it obviously we had Danielle Campbell, Sterling Knight, Maggie Castle, Brandon Michael Smith, and Chelsea Kane
Hmm.
were some of the stars in it. And yeah, like always, we'll have our general thoughts and then we'll get into a few like, little parallels to bring it back around to the rookie because,
Yeah.
we always have to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Um, do you want to go first with some of your thoughts or do you want me to?
Um, I mean, I can go. I mean, that's fine. I just had like a few things. I mean, like for me, it's just, classic Disney Channel movie. I kind of forgot how much the soundtrack was like actually pretty decent for
Mhm.
like what it was and when it was. Um, there were actually a couple funny like one-liners that I enjoyed too. And oh my gosh, the style was definitely appropriate for the times and the
Yeah.
like clip back hair.
Yep.
Um, and I don't know, the like the talk of dances and trying on dresses made me like remember my high school times doing all of that.
Yeah.
Since that movie actually came out when I was in high school. Um, and I don't know, I just thought it was like funny how they kind of had like two almost like kiss scenes, but I guess it makes sense since it's a Disney movie. They don't always have that kind of scene. But then I also didn't realize that there was such an age difference between
Yeah.
Danielle and Sterling at the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say she was like 14 when they were filming, and he was like, what, in his 20s or something?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And then honestly, like I mean, yes, there were a couple like Chenford parallel moments that we'll get into. But like
Hmm.
honestly though, when I was just like watching the desert scene when they were arguing, I just got like Brenson vibes from the Rookie Feds. Like
Yeah.
in an alternate universe, that is Laura yelling at Brendan about being too Hollywood. And
Yeah.
I don't know, just like Danielle's character Jessica very much gave grumpy vibes, and then Christopher would
Yeah.
be the sunshine, just kind of like Brenson's dynamic too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching this movie maybe once or twice when it first came out. But the movie was definitely a sign of the times. Like immediately hearing the opening music scene brought me right back to 2010 Disney days. I was like, whoa, that was weird. Also, watching a Disney movie as an adult
Mhm.
is almost a little cringe. Like, I'd assume the same for other DComs, which reminds me we should go back and watch Cadet Kelly because Sean Ashmore.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
also,
listen, I watched Cadet Kelly during the pandemic. That was
oh
like I
yeah.
went back and did like Disney movies galore
I feel
then.
like that one, I mean, it's probably gonna be cringe, but like that was such a core memory for me watching that one. Like that, I was just talking about it today with my coworker because I told her we were doing this episode. I was like, Cadet Kelly like altered my brain chemistry. I'm just kidding, but like maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so as I was watching it, Sarah was most definitely me as a teenager. Like, not like obsessed where like I had to travel to where like the celebrity was and like follow them around, but just like fawning over
Yeah.
them. Like the teen magazines, the
Hmm.
posters I had lining my walk-in closet was like literally insane.
Hmm.
Watching like every interview, watching everything that they were in, wanting like everyone in the room to be silent while I watched the interview. Like I was very much her, and I was like, "Whoa, okay." My first thought watching it was, is Disney using Drew Seeley's musical chops for Christopher songs? Like, because Drew Seeley was like he sang quite a bit of the music in Disney movies, but it wasn't him. It was another guy named Drew Ryan Scott. So
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, well, I was reading because like I guess Sterling was cast later
Yeah,
than anticipated, so he only actually sang, I think, the
like two
title
songs. Yeah,
track. Yeah, one or two songs or
yeah.
something, and then yeah.
And then Jessica's sass and sarcasm was a whole mood.
Oh
Like,
yeah, she is
intense.
me.
Yeah.
She is me for
So we
sure.
do have some Chenford parallels, which do you want to start off with yours or do you want me to?
I mean, mine's just real quick, just because, I mean, like, see, it's like Jessica and Christopher's initial vibes in Starstruck definitely parallel season one, Tim and Lucy disagreeing about everything or just
Mhm.
having these, discussions that start out as a difference of opinion and then just turn into these, you know, well, I'm right and you're wrong and this, that, and the other thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's not really a Chenford parallel, but like Jessica getting annoyed with Christopher was very much giving me Chenford vibes, like in the early days. With Lucy being all sunshiny, like Christopher when he couldn't believe that she didn't like him, and Tim like kind of being grumpy. Sunshine and grumpy is very much like the trope in all of this. And Tim just not wanting to entertain Lucy, like that was kind of like Jessica for me. And it really gave the vibes of honestly everyone, like Nyla and John, Angela and Jackson, Talia and John, like the other just kind of being like annoyed with the other. And
Mhm.
their like positive outlook. Their car ride too, when they were like kind of trying to escape the paparazzi. Obviously it's in different contexts, right? But like Jessica and Tim were the bossy grumps, and like Christopher and Lucy were the sunshines, like just trying to make the best of it. And yeah, I don't know. I loved it. Like there were Chenford parallels, but it was kind of harder to like grab onto because the two characters in Starstruck weren't like there was tension, but not like, oh, like, I like him as
Mhm.
a person. So, and then one that I noticed on my second rewatch was Stubby talking some sense into Christopher and telling him he's still hung up on Jessica. Felt similar to Angela asking Tim if he liked Lucy. And Tim was like, no, I don't like her. Like, because Christopher was kind of like denying that he was, still hung up on Jessica. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. For our wish list items, I again just really had one. I mean, I guess just because since they had, the pop star in the movie, maybe have Lucy go undercover as a famous singer or something. I mean, this is probably more just because I want Melissa to sing again on the
Yeah.
show too. Um, or I don't know, like Chenford has to deal with a celebrity. Um, I don't know, just given that like, the show is well, I mean, they're filming in LA, but it's set in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
And then this movie was, filmed and set in Los Angeles too. So I don't know if it's just kind of that, like I just kind of want the celebrity
Yeah.
vibes or just to, I don't know, go undercover and like survey a major Hollywood event, to have like Chenford do that or have the whole team have to
Yeah.
do something like that anyhow. I don't know. Because like we had that with, when Jackson was
Mhm.
dating, oh right,
Ster-
his boyfriend's name was Sterling in
Yeah.
the
Oh my
show.
God.
Funny. So we had that like a little bit of the,
Yeah.
Hollywood vibe, but like since then, I mean, I guess with Aaron, I guess since he, was in the limelight for a little bit, I guess we could maybe somehow work Aaron into that or
Yeah.
something. Um, and somehow, but yeah, I don't know, just somehow I just want a little more of the Hollywood vibes.
Yeah. Well, and like in season one and two, I think, like, I mean, we've had good guest stars where it is kind of
Hmm.
like they're still like their, celebrity persona. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, kind of want to get back to that, but
Hmm.
yeah. For me, it was like seeing Jessica and Christopher at the beach and made me want another Chenford beach date. But like they actually have to be together this time. Like no double date, no, they
Hmm.
have to be together. Um, and then I was kind of thinking, I was like, I don't even necessarily need it to be Chenford. Like it would be a great and full circle moment. But I'll take anyone at the beach for a little date, like Lopez, family beach day with Jayla, like something. But I know that in the rookie that might not happen. I mean, we have Balin at the beach for their honeymoon, so like we could have it. Maybe
Hmm.
not with the kids, but like because a
Hmm.
case would probably happen, but something. Just let's tie in the beach somehow. Um, and then Chenford or really any couple, doing like cute Los Angeles touristy stuff. Being like a tourist in their own city, I think is fun to watch. Even if it's while they're undercover. I don't know. Like it's a pipe dream, I guess, but like I don't know if Tim and Lucy both go undercover and they have to like act like they're just kind of a touristy couple, and so they're
Mhm.
like, checking out Griffith Park or whatever. I think that would be really cool to watch.
Mhm.
Um, and then this one was on my second rewatch as well. Tim making a big gesture, in an effort to like win Lucy back. Like Christopher went to Jessica's high school dance and asked her out there. Like I need Tim to make some kind of big gesture, especially because he was the one that broke up with Lucy. Like he's really gonna have to win her back. I don't know what that big gesture would look like,
Mhm.
but something.
Yeah.
That's what I need. I'm putting that out there into the universe. So who knows? Who knows? Um, yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, we just wanted to kind of do a short little nostalgic episode, but
Mhm.
Starstruck was a fun one to watch. And Danielle Campbell, it was so crazy to see her so young, like,
Yeah.
and just kind of baby faced in a way. Like, I feel like now, I mean, she's still young, like, she's literally our age, but,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I guess just because, like, I'm used to seeing her in like more mature roles.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the
Yeah,
movie,
like when she first spoke, like her voice was different.
yeah,
And I mean, yeah, of course, she pretty much still looks just about the same.
yeah,
Um, you know, almost 15 years ago as
yeah,
she does now. Um, but yeah, it was definitely quite a trip
yeah.
to see.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, if you want to watch Starstruck, it's available on Disney Plus and Amazon Prime. So be sure to find it there. Um, there was one that I was gonna, oh, I tried to watch it on Tubi TV, because it had the movie poster as this movie, but it was most definitely not the DCOM. It was like a whole other movie called Starstruck because it started off like in Vegas, and I was like, I'm pretty sure a DCOM is not going to start off there. So yeah, so just be careful because there's like a ton of movies called Starstruck apparently. So yeah. But in the meantime, you can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod underscore or email us at Shop Talk the Rookie Podcast at gmail.com with all of your thoughts. You can find us individually on Twitter as well. I'm at jstark804.
And I'm at Carrie Hyman.
And we're on TikTok too, at the Shop Talk Podcast underscore. So make sure to follow us there. We've got merch and our T Public store. Again, if you guys are able to, we'll definitely be at the EpicCon Chicago event in September. So if you're able to make it, come out. We would love to meet our listeners and just other rookie fans. But yeah, so. We'll be taking a little hiatus. Again, I know we just came back, but it's summer and we have a very long hiatus until the show starts. So why not take advantage? We'll be back though with new episodes soon, like starting August 1st. So until then,
Yep.
enjoy summer, guys.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Go get him, boo.